Yo, hello, what is up, beautiful people? Ha 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 ha. Time for some roasting. Yes, let me have some water because I think we have a lot of posts this week. Definitely a lot more than last time. Oh, I accidentally pressed escape. Well, I don't want to escape, bro. Where's the camera? What the hell? Just a sec. Boom! Here I am. Yes, before we roast, let me drink some water because why not? We have a lot of posts to go through today. Also, one more thing. There's no power here right now, so I'm currently running on backup. And if the stream ends abruptly and I'm in the process of speaking something and if that happens, then just know that the stream, yeah, the backup has run out of juice. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's go to the community. Let's roast some posts together. What I want to do now is I just want to toggle this for new, and we will go through every single post that has been made this week. I thought you actually no, bro. That was just a demo. That is just a demonstration of what could happen. And if that happens, then the stream has just stopped. Okay, perfect. So let's begin. Marak reads. I know there's a mistake, but I can't see it. Maybe it's just my brain failing me. Ooh, interesting, bro. You're attempting this reference. Have you completed the course yet? Okay, day 4 final. You have. Okay, in that case, let me see what went wrong here. All right, let's go to the side view. Okay, the first problem that happened, bro, is I can see it right away. Is that you're sculpting something that has a front, a side, third quarter, but on the reference you only have the front. This is a very common problem and something that we should not do. Okay, not try to imagine what we think is on the side on the third quarter, but find a reference that has the front, side, and third quarter. And if you do not have a reference like this, let me quickly show you something that you can do. So one of my mentorship students, he wanted to sculpt a stylized character, and the reference that he could find only had one angle, and he was like, hey Ishaq, should I just use this reference? Should I try to mix match different references? Should I find something that is similar? How would you recommend I go about this? And the problem with this, bro, if you try to mix match different references, so let's say I go to Pinterest, just showing you as an example, and I write over here, stylized body sculpts. Yeah. I just need to find some references and then I can sculpt this, bro. No problem. The problem here, bro, is that this stylization differs from this one. This stylization differs from this one. This is a completely different style. This is a completely different style. There's going to be all sorts of different proportion. This is a completely different proportion. This is different proportion. This is different proportion. This one is rendered. This one isn't rendered. And there's all sort of different contradictions. This is weird proportions, bro. And what happens is when you try to mix match all of this, you just end up with something that looks like a disaster. It's somewhat this, somewhat this, somewhat that, and it just does not work. So what you want to do instead is you go to Gemini, and here's the example that I was telling you about. So my student, what he wanted is he wanted to sculpt this character. And what I suggested him is that, bro, just go copy this prompt. I gave him the prompt. You can see the prompt here. And let me just share this prompt in the chat. So this prompt, what this does is it will generate the front, side, third quarter, back, whatever you ask it to, and it will do it for you. So what you do is just copy this prompt here, select over here, select create image, and over here you want to select the pro model. And with the pro model, you just want to select the extended version of thinking. And when you do that, it will generate you something that is very, yeah, it will generate something that is sufficient, very effective. I'm at loss of the word I had in mind, but it just slipped out. But when you do have it, it's going to make it so much easier. So in this case, just use this. Oh, let's do it together. Why not? So let's copy this. Let's try. Let's see here. Let's copy this prompt. New chat. Pro extended. Yes. Create images. Let me attach the image here. Let me attach the prompt here. And let's hit go. And with this, let's just wait while we go to the other post and we will come back to this again. Another thing that I notice here is definitely with the proportions. So something is definitely weird here. Let's see. So let's check. So about here would be the scalp of the character. Oh my god, I drew such a straight line with the mouse. Damn, I thought I was on the line tool, but this is actually... Oh boy, I sculpted. I made this... Can it... Okay, it's not happening again, but this is super straight, isn't it? Damn, so good. It's straighter than my morning wood. Damn. So about here, definitely halfway are the eyes. Nice. So the proportions down here. Where's the middle of this? About here should be the middle. Nose in the middle of the eyebrow. So this does follow the generic proportions. Maybe the lower lip is a bit above. Let's check the same proportions here. Does this follow the generic proportion or not? So we have the scalp somewhere about here. You have here. So I think the scalp would be somewhere here. Let's make a line here. Sometimes what happens is that you get distracted by all of those details on the sculpt. So it's a good idea to extend the line up till here. So about here should be the middle. And I can see that the eyes are a bit above middle. Let's look at the eyebrow. So the eyebrows should be somewhere here. Let's check. Somewhere here is the middle. And I can see that the nose is below. So the eyes are a bit higher. The nose is a bit lower. Let's check the middle of the mouth. Okay, so the middle of the mouth is a bit low. And this way you can see that the proportions are messed up. And when the proportions are messed up, the details are messed up. Proportions is everything. You want to think of sculpting step by step. So let me show you. Script template. Let's go here. Yeah, sculpting is step by step. This is the most important phase. If you mess this up, no matter how beautiful you make the eyes and the nose, it's not going to look right. If you mess this up, then no matter how you detail the nose, it's not going to look right. So always block out first, then the proportions second, and then we begin to detail everything. So I think what went wrong here was definitely the proportions and also the fact that you did not have sufficient reference. So let's check here. Okay, really nice. I think I had full body here. So let me just go full digital bust sculpt reference. Yeah, bust should be nice. Let's update that. And that would be it. By the way, W for making a quality post, you attach the reference, which is something that I like. So I changed the category to quality post. I got this question that I cannot make a quality post. Ishaq, how do I make a quality post? You cannot make a quality post. You can make an attempt to make a quality post. And when I see that post, and if it follows the standard, I will manually change it to a quality post. So this is the quality post W, big W, my friend. Great work, Marak. How is your name pronounced? Is it Marak or Marik? Mirak? I hope I'm not butchering the pronunciation, bro. But great work. Okay, McCoy Moss. Let's see. Sculpt level 3, sculpting practice. I've been hammering a lot of the sculpts this week. I have certainly gotten faster at sculpting. Nice. Because previously it took me a lot of hours, if not days, to get this kind of result. But now this took me approximately 4 hours from scratch to finish. What I am not sure is if my sculpts are getting better or what. Roasted Ishaq, and I should move on to phase level 1. Let's see, bro. Let's have a look. All right. Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing, bro. I just think, and do correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like this is something you can see yourself, isn't it? Like, can't you see this angle here and how flat the chin, the jaw is here? So these are some things that we always need to keep an eye out for. A tip that I have for looking at references is always try to think of your sculpts or references when you're observing things. Try to think of it in terms of line, curves, S's, and always keep an eye out for angles. So I can definitely see that the jaw has 3 distinct angles. It's the straight line, it's this diagonal line, and then it's this flat line for the chin. Over here, I just see a straight line and then a flat line for the jaw and the chin combined. So what I would do is definitely I would move this over here like this. Okay, I would trim off all of this area, move it up. That is something we need to do. Also, the same thing goes for the side. So from the side, you can see it's this flat shape for the chin and the jaw. But I can see that it's an angle up. It's an angle that is going up and then an angle that goes straight up. So over here, the chin would be something like this. The rest of it looks really nice, actually. I think the eyes are a bit small. You want to make sure that the nose, the beginning of the nose is somewhere inside this orbit. Usually it's about middle, but somewhere in between the orbit is fine. And yeah, the teeth are, it's completely fine, bro. Like, you can get away with the teeth. Let me load up the reference file here and let me tell you something. So let me load up the reference. Just a sec. Let me find the reference. My course. Head sculpting course. Skull levels. Where's skull levels? Skull levels. Okay. This is something that I mentioned inside the course as well. And that is the only thing you need to practice to get good at sculpting heads is this level. You just need to practice up till here. You can completely ignore these the teeth and everything because bro, sculpting the teeth does not help you make better faces. Sculpting all of these details, these cracks, these holes over here, it does not help you sculpt a better face. What you need for sculpting a better face is just this much. So if you want to save some time on this, you can definitely just practice this much. I have to go. I'm sorry. I will catch up on my sculpts roast. Yeah, no worries, my friend. This is all recorded. You can check it out later. No problem. By the way, these cracks, just a fun fact. Do you know why these cracks are here in the first place? So when babies are born, and when you see a newborn baby, try touching them on their head, and you will feel a gap there. For God's sake, don't try to insert your finger there. Just run your finger through the head, and you will feel a gap there. That gap is actually a gap, a literal gap in the skull. And that is there because when the baby is being born and he's exiting his mother's womb and he's being launched into planet Earth, then the skull, it compresses. That gap allows for the skull to get compressed and then the baby can come out. And as we grow, the gap fills and then we are left with this crack. Now, all of that information, bro, you don't need that to make better sculpts. I just shared it because why not? And these holes, they are here because there's a lot of neurons that are going on the skull. Then they have to come out through these holes attached to the skin. It's really, really delicate and intricate how the body works, bro. It's amazing. But all of that is cool to know, but it's not something that helps you sculpt better. So if you want to save some time, what I would recommend is just practice the skull up till here. And just pay a bit more attention to the proportions and the angle of things. I think proportion wise, this is not bad. The eyes might be a bit up. Let's check. So this is the entire length. Eyes should be somewhere in the middle. So yeah, the eyes, I would bring them down a bit. Definitely about here somewhere. Or exactly in the middle would be fine as well. So that way we know where the eye is. The bottom of the nose, it's definitely between the eyebrow ridge and so yeah, that lines up. Over here you can just ignore it because you don't need to sculpt the teeth. And yeah, you should be good to go. Perfect. By the way, W for making a quality post, my man. I love this. I love how you attached each angle the same way. I like this. Good job. And yeah, once you do adjust this, you can by all means move on to face level 1. What you want to aim for is just 80 to 90% accuracy. It will never be 100%. Even I can sculpt the same thing that I sculpt. Again, I can sculpt a replica of my sculpt either. No one can do it. No artist can sculpt whatever he sculpted once, sculpt it again. 100%. Never happens. What you want to aim for is 80 to 90% accuracy. As long as you're in that ballpark, as long as you can sculpt that consistently, then you just move on to the next level. All right, this is my post. Oh, just ignore it. You don't ignore it. I can ignore it because it's my post. Orkhan Ismail Zada. Orkhan. Day 3, sculpting skull level 2. Let's see. Okay, let's look at the next image. Okay, not bad. Yeah, you see, this is something that is there. It's already in the ballpark. So there's not much that I would want you to change here. If you want, you can see that the top is a bit more flat. You could definitely have that as well. That is something you could do. I like how you sculpted the bump here. I think I did it in the video, but I forgot it on the model that I shared. Too bad, but good thing you added it here. Yep, looks good. Yeah, this is pretty nice, bro. Nothing much to comment here. Keep up the good work. Looks amazing. By the way, just in case you guys do not know, let me show you something. that I am currently in the process of completely re-recording the whole 1 month challenge and the head sculpting course. The reason that I'm doing this is because I believe there were I just saw a lot of mistakes that beginners were making, and I know I can cover them better in the new course. So I'm currently working on the new 1 month sculpting challenge, which is exciting. Another thing is that this course right here, it was the first course that I ever recorded. So I definitely have improved a lot in terms of my delivery, in terms of conveying my message, and I just want to do a better job at this. The current one is already getting so many people results. It's amazing, but I want to make it even better. Right now, this is the 1 month challenge. What I'm aiming for is that you can get results within 2 weeks. So that is what I'm aiming for this time around. It's going to be really exciting. Not, oh boy, new. Okay, let's go. Done. Extraneum, extone, day 2, proportion sketching. Let's see. Oh, you did this on paper. Very interesting. I think this is the first time I've seen someone doing this on paper. Usually I just see people doing this in Photoshop, but I love how you're doing this on paper. Nice. Okay, this looks really, really nice, bro. I think you definitely have the proportions down. Just the eyes, I think they could be brought exactly to the center. Right now they're a bit above, but I would keep them on the center. Yep, let's have a look at the skulls. It just feels a bit too wide to me. Other than that, it's completely fine. Okay, from the top, from the front, definitely we want a bit more of a slant, and then we want a curve. I can see a bit of a flat top here. So definitely we need to curve that down, slant that down, and then we have the curve here. I can also see that the jaw here, so the jaw is pointing upwards here, but it's really, really flat here. So we definitely need a bit of that angle over here as well. Also, honestly, you don't need these references. They will just contradict and they will confuse you. So for the duration of this course, just follow whatever's provided inside the course. There's all sorts of variations to anatomy. There's unlimited variations to it. There's no right or wrong way to do this. The best thing that you can do is just focus on one source of information, build a foundation of that, and then move on to another thing. So over here, I would recommend whatever you have inside the course, build your understanding on that. And when you go out to the real world, try implementing things on your own. You will be able to observe things better, judge things better, make better decisions. I promise. Right now, if you mess with too many references, it will just confuse you. Perfect. Good. Love this. Change category to quality post. Wow, we have a lot of quality posts. How long have we trying? Oh, 18 members. I definitely need to check this out. Head sculpt level 3. Mark Schmidt. I just finished level 3 heads today. I'm proud how it worked out. If anyone has feedback, I'd love to hear it so I know where I can improve next time. Okay, let's have a look, my friend. Okay. I don't know why this reminds me a bit of the Ed and Eddie cartoon. Not sure. I think it's the eye area. But I think what you did over here is that you skipped some steps. Definitely with the blockout and everything, because I see that the jaw over here, it does not has that width. It does not has this angle. It's rounded off. And this only happens when you skip steps. So if you nail step number 1 and then move on to step number 2, then step number 3, and then you add the details, these mistakes do not happen. The worst situation that you can find yourself in is that you ignore the basics here, you skip steps, and then you reach at the point where you're adding details, and now you have to change things that you were supposed to in step number 1. And that means the proportions and everything. So if you want to adjust the jaw now, this model is already too high poly. If you want to adjust the length of the nose now, it's already too high poly. If you want to adjust the eyes, it's already too high poly. It's too late. It's going to take you longer to do that. And the best thing that you can do, honestly, is to not skip steps. So when you nail step number 1, then you don't have to worry about these things. You don't have to worry about the width of the jaw, the angle over here. You would have nailed that already. And all you have to do is to just add details. So, yeah. You can't get away with this, bro. You can't keep getting away with this. That's a Breaking Bad impression, bro. But yeah, you can't keep getting away with this. You have to work on the basics. Yep. But good effort and W on making a quality post. You know exactly what to improve on. Just focus on level 1, level 2, level 3. Focus on it this way. If you cannot get this down, do not proceed to the next video. Unless you can sculpt this consistently, do not go on to the next video. Yo, Shizuma, long time. How's it going, my friend? Happy to see you on the stream. How are you doing? Let's see. Hey, Ryu Asano, how are you? Why are these messages being translated automatically? I don't want them to be translated. The chat here. Why is it being translated? So weird. Doing good. Yes, I'm doing great as well. Thank you. Where do I turn on auto translation on these stream chats? Super weird. Okay, never mind. I'll try to figure it out. I'm doing great as well. Thank you. Yeah, Shizuma, what do you think about skipping steps? So Shizuma is someone who has already gotten insane results. You should check out Shizuma's profile, his art station. Just look at the sculpts that he's making. What do you think about skipping steps, Shizuma? And let's see. Orkhan Ismail Zada, another post. Let's see. Yeah, how many Jerrys were roasted so far? Nah, man. All of the people here are making quality posts. No Jerrys here so far. That is something that I love. This community is getting Jerry free every moment. And I love it. Okay, level 1. Looks good, looks good. Looks good. Really good. Yep, perfect. Nothing too concerning here. Quality post, big W. Keep up the amazing work, man. And yes, I think I reviewed the skull level 2 as well. Yes. So you can see here, since skull level 1 was really good, then the details on skull level 2 make sense. This is the basic principle, bro. You cannot add more details on a weak foundation. Does not work. What you said, I didn't hear you. My cat jumped on my keyboard and oh my god, how does that happen? What are the odds? I was basically talking about the steps that are involved with sculpting, where blockout is the first step, and once you nail this, then you go on to adding details, versus you just proceeding with your sculpting, la 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 la, do. You reach all the way to the end, and then you said, oh shit, bro, I forgot to adjust the jaw. Oh shit, man, I have to adjust the proportions. And then it just takes longer to do that. So steps are definitely extremely important. Working on your sculpt step by step, super, super important. Let's move on. Nomad. Face sculpt level 2. I did this on my own without watching the video. Okay, perfect. Let's have a look. Okay. Mandatory, to be honest. Yep. Man, I agree. That is a great word to use. Definitely a better word. Okay, well, this one, honestly, I just feel like it's a proportional error, especially on the bottom one. It just feels like someone squeezed his jaw trying to get some answers out of him. Like, why did you skip steps, bro? That's what happened here. Also, I hate to break it to you, bro. This isn't the reference that you should be following. Let me show you the source file. So there's a file named the male head levels. So the male head levels is the file that you need to be using. And you see here, this is the reference that you should follow for step number 2. So currently you're at level 2. The reference that you need to be following is the level 2 reference. So this one is not the right reference. This was just there for you to practice head, to look at a male head. But this reference will definitely help you observe these things better. And the best way to practice is that you just load up the reference here, move it somewhere far away, and then zoom in on the reference. So you have one viewport on the reference at all times. And on here, what you do is you open another viewport. So split this view. Oh my God, bro, this is always so confusing. I never get this right. Okay, perfect. You go to viewport, and then here you make your sculpt. So just an example, imagine this is my sculpt here. And this is how you practice. So you're looking at your reference here. You have all the views that you want. And then you're looking at your sculpt at the same time. And this just helps you observe things better, sculpt better. Yep. This is the best way to practice. I believe having a 3D model to practice is the best way. Bashir, bro, I think you're spamming the chat, bro. And if this, bro, please don't spam. Okay, let's go. Let's move on to the next one. Also, one more thing I noticed here, and I noticed it here as well. So this happens very often. So what I'm observing here is that some of you are practicing or trying to sculpt with the studio version and not in the matcap. So what happens here is you want to click on this drop down, and instead of studio, you see studio is fine, but it shades the model in a weird way. When you're sculpting, you just want to be in the matcap preview. The reason you want to be in matcap is because it shades the model very evenly. It allows you to observe the shapes and everything better. So matcap can make a lot of difference. There's a lot of matcaps here. For example, I can't sculpt with this. I can't really see the forms better with this. So there's no point sculpting like this. You want to use the default matcap, or when you complete the course, I just give you the matcap plus, which is my custom matcap. And that happens when you complete the course. So when you complete the 1 month challenge, you can have the best matcap, the matcap that I use all the time. So definitely do sculpt with the matcap on. This shadow, this happens in studio and it makes it difficult. So yeah, just use the matcap. It will make things a lot easier. All right, Mark Rids. Oh, you're the guy who sculpted the vampire character. I finished the course, bro, 4 days, damn. But my head doesn't look exactly like the reference, even though it's not a perfect match. I think it still looks pretty good, but something feels off and I can't quite put my finger on what it is. Let's have a look. Yeah, honestly, it's not close to the reference, but on its own, it's a really good head. Yeah, it is a really good sculpt on its own, just not similar to the reference. In that case, it might be a win, but it might be an L, because if your objective was to get something close to the reference, then bro, you failed. But if your objective was to make a head, then yes, this looks good. The thing that I notice here is definitely there's something off with the proportion, and that is what you cannot put your finger on. The thing you should be putting your finger on is, oh my God, that sounds so weird. Okay. Am I the only one with a dirty mind? I think so, yes. Okay, so what you want to be doing here, bro, is just check the proportions here. And that is what feels off. So the eyes, yeah, they're right. Let's check the nose. So yeah, the nose is what feels a bit low. Also the lips, let's check the lips. So yeah, the lips also a bit higher. So I can notice this over here. The nose feels super, super long. So definitely that is a proportion thing. What's missing over here is the proportion. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to practice proportions, bro, just go back to the class, go back to the classroom section, and let me show you. So you go here, go to the classroom section, and you work on the sketching and proportions. Now, you do not need 2D skills to be a good 3D artist. You do not. I suck at drawing, but I make the characters that I'm proud of. The only reason that I recommend you do this in 2D is because as artists, we learn from our mistakes. The quicker you make mistakes, the quicker you analyze those things, the quicker you learn. Now, What happens with sculpting is sculpting is similar to swimming. So if a person is standing by the swimming pool and he's like, yeah, let me just watch these people swim, bro, and then I'll beat them in a race, never gonna happen. The same thing happens when you watch, when you're trying sculpting. So if you're just watching instructors, watching speech or live streams, and then thinking, "Oh wow, it's going to make you a sculptor," it's not going to happen. You have to get your hands dirty. You have to sculpt. Same way, like if you want to learn how to swim, bro, you have to get wet. If you want to learn how to sculpt, you have to get your hands dirty. The more dirtier your hands get, the easier it is gonna be for you to sculpt. If you make a head in 3D, it might take you an hour, might take you 2 hours, initially might take you 4 hours. Who knows? And then after those 4 hours, then you have the opportunity to analyze, okay, what went wrong. And that is a very long process. When you do this in 2D, you can literally just sketch a face. So let me sketch a face for you right now, and you can see how long does it take. So I have something like this. I know that it's a straight line down. And then we have this for the jaw, this for the chin. And I'm just making sure that the face has a bit of a taper. That's it. And I know this is the top of the head, this is the bottom, so somewhere around here is the middle of the face. This is where the eyes would be. This is where the eyes are. And I know this. So I'm practicing the eyes. Now I know above the eyes we have the eyebrows. So just making some rough eyebrows. And you can see I suck at drawing, bro. From the eyebrows down, around the middle somewhere is where we have the nose. So let's just make the nose here. And the nose is almost as wide as the corner of the eye. So I'm just making the nose here. And then from the nose down, halfway is the bottom of the lip. So the bottom of the lip would be here. Above that, of course, would be the crease of the lips. And above that, of course, would be the upper lip. And then I have this thingy in between. And boom, I have a face. I practiced the proportions. How long did this take me? If something went wrong, I would be able to identify it immediately. And I can sculpt another sketch again. And I can fix my proportions again. And I can do it again. And I can do it again. Within that hour, you will master the proportions. If you do this deliberately, within an hour, you can master proportions. Proportions will no longer be a thing that you struggle with. But if you were sculpting this, it would take you 4 hours to make it. And then you have the opportunity, okay, what went wrong? Let me analyze it. Then you make those adjustments. And then you sculpt something from scratch again. It does not work. So the only reason that I recommend you do this in 2D, I practice proportions in 2D. The only reason I do it is because it's a quicker way to make mistakes and to learn quicker. You learn from your mistakes quicker. So go ahead and don't feel shy, bro. Just go over here, practice the sketching over here. It might be boring, but I promise you have to do this once. You do this for an hour once. Proportions is something you will never struggle with. So yep, good. And do let me know, bro. What was the objective here? Was it to sculpt something close to the reference or just to make a generic face? Because if it was to make something close to the reference, then we do need to pay more attention to the shapes and the forms that we have on the proportion. Oh my God, on the sculpt, on the reference. I'm tripping. I'm confusing words. Why is that happening? Let me drink some water so I can rest my brain a bit. You know, I've been on so many calls today. It's tiring. I've been sitting here since 6 a.m. and I've had 4 calls so far. And now I'm doing this live stream. And I have another call at 7 p.m. Yeah, a lot of work today. So do pardon me, bro, if I feel a bit tired or short. English is not my primary language, and I've noticed this when I'm a bit tired and my brain is a bit tired, I'm at loss of words. Like the structure of my sentences, they just fall apart. That's a lot of calls today. I think I might take a nap after this. Who knows? Oh yeah, we have the weekly call as well. So 4 p.m. we have the weekly call inside the Da Vinci School. A lot of calls today. Damn. Sculpt reference. Let's have a look. Okay, this is very nice. Okay, really nice. Love the top of the head. Looks good. Yep, I think this part could be a bit straighter, but it's definitely in the ballpark. Nothing too concerning. Yeah, since this is almost similar height, I think the eyes are a bit low. You already matched them up pretty well. Yeah, this is a bit taller. I think this is fine. Let me just do a quick proportion check. Let's just quickly eyeball this. So line here, connect this, somewhere in the middle should be here. Oh yeah, this is fine, perfect, looks good. Yep, nothing too concerning here. Amateur hour, you're not an amateur anymore. I think you should change your name to intermediate hour now. Oh, not a jury, quality post. Definitely a quality post. Great job, my man, love this. Brian, let's have a look at yours. Oh, okay, bro. So we have a lot of variations going on here. And what we want is consistency. And we don't want 100% consistency, but somewhere to be in a consistent ballpark. That is what we want. Let me load up an example of this real quick. Where did I save it? 1 month challenge intro. Nope. Nope. I'm just trying to find the Pura file. Just give me 1 sec. Okay, I cannot find it, but I remember someone who practiced that way, and that person is Frank. So let's search Frank. Let's go to Frank's posts. And yeah, here it is. So you can see, although all of these heads are not completely the same, but they are in a very similar ballpark. And you can see with every attempt, they did get better. So these earlier ones had a flat head. This is a bit, this is like this. I like this one the most. But if we had a bit more angle, it would have been perfect. But you can see they're in a very similar ballpark. Whereas this one, I can see a lot of variations. This one looks like a visor, those skiing visors, the ice skiing visors. This one looks like sunglasses. This one is too apart. So we definitely need to improve this. This one looks like it's melting down. So there's a lot of variations to this. We want something that looks consistent. And until you can do that, I wouldn't recommend you move on to the next level. So quality post for attaching the reference with it. But we definitely need to work on the consistency. Oh boy, my camera just turned off. Let me fix that really quick. Oh. Yeah. So basically what happens is that I use my phone as a webcam and the battery just ran out. So what I'm doing is I'm switching my phone. I'm using another phone as a camera now. And yep, okay, so here I am, here I should be. Yeah. Okay, so it should be working now. Let's see. Why is it stuck? Hello. Okay, this works now. So I'm using the other phone now. And before you ask, wow, how many phones do you have? I have 3, bro. I have 3 phones. And 2 of them, I just use them as webcam. This is my main one. The main one only has WhatsApp. It has no social media because I do not like getting distracted. I do not allow anyone else to distract me. So I don't get this patings or random notifications. Every notification is turned off on this phone except for WhatsApp. And when I'm working, I usually try my best that I turn my Wi-Fi off as well. Sometimes I forget. You just do not want to get distracted when you're working. And that control is in your hands. A lot of people are like, no, bro, I just get distracted. Bro, this is something you can control. A lot of people freak out when I say, bro, just turn off your notifications. Like, but what if an emergency happens? What if someone wants to reach me? What if this happens? What if that happens? Let me tell you something about emergencies. When an emergency happens, first of all, no one texts you. No one texts you in a situation of an emergency. No one texts, hey, bro, I just got into an accident. Can you come? They'll call you, directly call you. If they try calling you on WhatsApp or any other messenger and you do not pick up, they're going to call you on the SIM. If you do not pick up on your SIM, they're going to ask someone who lives with you or lives nearby you, and they will ask him, hey, can you put Ishaq on the phone? It's extremely urgent. So this is how I like to think about emergency and urgency. Whatever's urgent will reach you regardless. So you can turn off your notification without any worry whatsoever, bro. You turning off your notifications, having that power where you are able to focus on the things that you that are meaningful to you, it's worth the trade-off. Turning on your notifications, allowing yourself to be distracted, it's it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I just think that this is a matter of self-respect. I do not allow anyone to distract me. I cannot allow. I don't want to give that power to anyone else. So I keep my notifications turned off. And you want to do the same thing if you value your time. Like this is just so ingrained that when you're working on something and your phone goes ping or whatever notification tone you have, when that happens, our monkey brain, bro, it just wants to look at who messaged me, what happened. It's so ingrained now, and it will destroy your focus. So don't allow your focus to be compromised. Skull number 1, what I did today. Prince Emmanuel, Majesty. It's an honor to be reviewing your sculpt. Let's see. Okay, bro. So the first thing that I noticed is that the bump of the head is happening here. On the reference, it's happening somewhere back here. So I would definitely move this here, have the bump here, and just use this as a slope. So if I was to draw this for you, I would definitely have this sort of a shape, something that is similar to the reference. Let's check the front. Yeah, the front looks nice. I just feel, yeah, definitely. So you can see this curve happening here. It's like it's getting sucked in. We don't want that. We just want a subtle taper, a straight taper to the skull. This also exists in the face. You don't want it to curve in this way. Okay, you just want to keep it straight. Those are the only 2 things that you need to adjust, and I believe you're doing a great job. So, good job. Great work here. W for making a quality post. Let's go. Bro, why didn't anyone make a Jerry post? I want to tag someone. I want to add someone to the Jerry category. Skull level 3 practice. Feel free to roast brutally. Okay, bro. Honestly, this attempt is better because you have the angle on the jaw here. Okay, so this attempt is definitely better than the other one, but still not in the ballpark that we want to aim for. The proportions, they seem off, so definitely do take care of the proportion. The eyes are definitely up, not in the center. And yep, I also showed you the skull that you need to practice. So if you're short on time, just practice this one. You don't have to practice the teeth. You don't have to practice the details, the holes, and all of this. You don't have to do it. So just practice it up till here. This is what you need to make a good face. So just practice up till here. Good. Oh wow, I just love how everyone is making a quality post now. No Jerry's in the community. But I do want, bro, I want to set an example. I want to roast a Jerry, bro. Why can't I find a Jerry? Day 1, level 0 challenge first sculpt by imagination. All right. Okay, I love level 0s. This is my favorite post, the favorite kind of post. Level 0 is my favorite category. And the reason that this is happening is, the reason that this is my favorite is because this gives you something to look back at. And I'm so glad I have the image, though I wish I had saved the whole 3D model for this, but I do not have the 3D model. But this is my level 0. This is where I started. This is where it all began. And I love this. I love looking back at this. The reason you want a level 0, bro, is whenever you feel like, oh boy, I'm not improving, this is not working. And let's say you get here and you look back at this. This sucks. 100% this sucks. But it sucks less than what you sucked a few days ago. So that is progress. That is improvement. That is something you can be proud of. And when you move on, you get better and better and better and better. Of course, you can be proud of yourself, bro. Now, this pain is a pain in the ass to look at. It pains me to watch this. But it still doesn't suck as much as this. So this is progress. And this is why I love level 0. When I look at the level 0s of the people inside the community, it warms my heart, bro. Like, look at Alex, his characters, his level 0. Look at Frank, his level 0, his characters. Look at Nikolai, his level 0, his characters now. So it's amazing that you document this, or this part of your journey. Do document this. Do keep a level 0. Keep the model. I swear, when you make progress, it's going to be so wholesome to look back at this. Who we roasting today, bro? Today, honestly, everyone's doing a really good job. So there's not much to roast here. I want someone, bro. Please make a post without a reference so I can. So this category, bro. I want to make someone a Jerry. I want a Jerry, bro. Jerry's are great. Jerry's a great source of material to make fun of. A center of attention to roast them. Jerry's are awesome, bro. This isn't my first time sculpting head, but I've been stuck at this level for quite a while. Time to finally push past it after years of procrastinating. 100%, bro. By the end of this course, you will definitely be able to do that. Love this. Love the level 0. And we're already seeing results. So you've made some really good sculpts. You're showing some progress. That is nice. Marak reads, day 3, level 2. Hello. Working on a level 2 head sculpt today. I finally nailed the temples for the first time. Yay. Yes, I forgot to post yesterday. Yup, this looks really, really nice. And yeah, this just further proves my point. So the reason that your sculpt is not similar to the reference is because the level 2 is not similar to the reference. And you can see here, bro, I can see this. So the chin over here is definitely wider. Over here, it's really, really narrow. I can see that the angle over here is not that steep. It's a bit shallow, but over here, it goes up quite a lot. And just noticing these little things. So the shape of the eye, I can see that it goes up and then it's almost a flat top towards the top, like oh, flat top, what the fuck. But over here, I can see a bit of this incline over here. So whatever you make on the level 1 and level 2 will carry all the way to level 3 when you add the details. So fix the level 1 first, then go to level 2, then add the details, then make the eyes. That is how you want to progress with this sculpt. Honestly, on its own, this is really, really nice. But comparing it with the reference, no. If the objective was to make something close to the reference, we definitely need to put a bit more work. Also the nose, I feel like it's a bit long. And yeah, you see, since the nose is long here, it was longer in the final result. So, yeah. Always look out for these things. If you have, I don't know, if you have only an hour to sculpt, use the Pareto's principle. Spend, oh my God, bro. Yeah, 20% of the result are gonna come. Oh my God, bro, I'm so confused. Let me take a moment to think. So apply the Pareto's principle. The level 1 and level 2 is the 20% things that are gonna get you 80% results. The detailing stuff, the level 3 stuff is just the 80% things that are getting you a measly 20% result. The sculpt is made in the foundation. The sculpt is made in the blockout. If this sucks, everything else that will follow it will suck. You want to think of it as a house, bro. When you're building a house, the most important thing is the foundation. If I build a house on a swamp, it's going to drown. The most important thing is the foundation, the base, and then the house, the structure. And then, okay, what wallpaper should I add to the house? What window frame should I add to the house? What material should I use on the outside? Those things come later. The same thing goes for a sculpt, bro. The base of your sculpt is level 1. Let me load up the PureF file once again. Yeah, the base of your sculpt is the level 1. This is the foundation of your house. And then this is the structure of your house. And then this is the wallpaper and everything that you have to add. If this sucks, everything will fall apart. So yeah, definitely pay more attention to the level 1 and level 2. On its own, it's really good. But if the objective is the reference, then we definitely need to put a bit more work. Just a sec, let me get the door. Just a sec. Be right back. Oh, मुझे लगता है मैंने रखा ही नहीं, कहीं भी रखते हैं। Yo, back. Yeah? Okay. Yo, let's continue. I don't need headphones. Why do I need headphones? Let's see. Let's move forward. Andrew Orlando. Final head from reference. Reference, mine, reference. Reference, my mind, reference. Okay, you meant the auto. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, definitely it does feel a bit squashed. Also happy to see that you're using the mat cap over here. Just one thing, bro. This is not the reference this should be following. Like I showed this in the previous example as well. The reference you want to be following is this one. Yeah, this one. This is the head that I sculpted in the course, and this is the one you should be following along with me. The one that you used, this is after the course if you want to practice on your own. So I just added an additional head model so that you can practice with things if you want. You have a 3D model of another head to reference from. But definitely when you're doing the course, just follow what's in the course, the course material. Just follow that. Just move the eyes in. Yep. But let me still share some feedback. So I can definitely see some issues with the angles over here, 100%. So you can see the chin super wide, really flat. But here I can see this really long diagonal for the jaw, and then I have the chin. So that is something that is lacking here. Also the eyes, really small, bro. Really small eyes here. So the generic proportion for the eyes is that whatever the distance is here is the same distance you want in between. But I see that this is wider. Also the whole face is almost five eyes wide apart. It's just a generic proportion. Always take this with a grain of salt. But yeah, the proportions are off from the side. I can definitely see the head is definitely longer on the side. The chin is small. You can see it here. Again, a proportional error. And the mouth, you can also see, it should go in deeper into the face. So you can see how deep this mouth goes in. It goes beyond the nose. But here I can see it's almost on the nose or a bit ahead of it. So we definitely need to push the mouth inside. The cool thing about the mouth is that the mouth is a curved form. Okay, it wraps around the face. So this is a curved form. And bro, let me just vent for a moment. This is something that pisses me off. So a lot of times what I see is some instructors, what they do is that they make us feel like this. It's like, today I will teach you how to sculpt the lips. And to sculpt the lips, you make a sphere, you remesh those lips, use the crease brush, you turn on symmetry, you crease it in the middle, you use this, and then you crease the upper lips, and then you make the lower ones, and then you do this, and then you smooth something, and boom, you have something like looks like lips. And yes, they do look like lips, bro. But this is not a good way to practice. The thing is that when you practice this way, you feel like, oh wow, bro, I just sculpted some lips and they look really nice. They might, okay, just dig a bit here. It will make this part of the lips, I think it's called the philtrum. You make this, the name doesn't matter by the way. And then also what you can do is bulk up the side of the face and boom, look at this, bro. You just made some lips. It took you 2 minutes and the tutorial would be how to sculpt lips in 2 minutes. And then you sculpt these lips and then you feel good about yourself. But then when you try to sculpt the same thing on a face, it just does not work. And why is that? That is because they just missed out a fundamental thing that you need to realize, that bro, the reason the lips sucked at this mouth that you were making is because it's not a round form. It wasn't wrapping around. When you have a sphere, it's already round and you're just using the crease brush and adding a bit details, and of course you have that. But when you're sculpting a face, the more important piece of knowledge that you did not know, that you weren't aware of, is that when you have a flat mouth like this and you use the same techniques that you use in the tutorial, it's not going to work. So instead what you do is when you're making a mouth, before making the lips, you want to bulk up that area. You want to have a bit of a round form on that area. When you look at it from the bottom view, now you see it's a round shape. And now when I apply the things from the tutorial here, they will apply. So when you're practicing individual body parts, let's say you're practicing the nose, you're practicing the mouth, you're practicing the eyes, practice them on the face. That will get you better results. Don't do it separately on separate objects. It's not going to work. You will get quick results, you will feel good about yourself, but when you sculpt them on a face, it's not going to make sense. So when you want to practice individual parts, practice them on the face. You already have the level 2, practice the mouth on this level 2. Don't sculpt a face from scratch every time, just practice on the mouth. The example that I want to share here is, let's say you suck at sculpting the mouth. Okay? The only thing that is going to help you improve is sculpting the mouth. So when you're making the eyes, you're not sculpting the mouth. When you're making the nose, you're not sculpting the mouth. When you're making the ears, you're not sculpting the mouth. When you're blocking out a face, you're not sculpting the mouth. When you're watching tutorials, you're not sculpting the mouth. The only thing that is going to help you improve is sculpting the mouth. So please, for the love of God, just sculpt the mouth. And that will help you improve. Okay? Perfect. Let's move on. Like, quality post. By the way, bro, it's more convenient to give feedback when reference and sculpt are on the same picture. I agree. That is the same thing that I was going to say here. It would have been better if you had them on the same image. And I think Tom just introduced a new standard for the quality post. So yes, if you want to make a quality post, bro, they should be on the same page. And the next time this happens, we'll just change the category to Jerry. Yep. Thank you, Tom, for inspiring that idea. I love this. Day 1, video 1, sculpt practice video. Let's see. Yep. This looks good. Looks really nice. Yeah, nothing to comment here. Looks good. Perfect. Keep up the good work. And we saw the other levels that you did, so they were nice as well. So great job. Sheikh Shahid, level 0. Loves level 0s, bro. Level 0s are my favorite. Mark Schmidt, head sculpt level 1. And yes, I can already see some errors here. Definitely with the proportions. By proportions, I mean the shapes. There's nothing to calculate the proportions from yet. But I can definitely see that the face is really linear here. Over here, it just inflates like this, like a pimple. And then it goes back in. So that is definitely wrong. What I would have done here is have a straight form over here. And then from that straight form, I have the ear poking out. Okay, another really common mistake that I see is that, okay, this form is straight, but the ear has this weird dip, and then it goes up, and then it comes out like this. No, bro. You don't want to make it this way. So do not do it this way. Yeah, I think when you do fix that, that would just improve a lot of things. Also, right now, just remember that the widest area of the head is somewhere on top here. Right now, it's happening somewhere here. So that is definitely wrong. Just push all of this in. You want to push all of this in. From the side, let's look at the side. So from the side, bro, yes, definitely need a bit more of these angles. So this just feels like a slope and then almost like a straight line down if I average it out. But here you can see a slant here, then almost a flat area here, a dip on the chin here. You nailed the chin, so the chin looks really nice. But definitely we can slope the forehead a bit more and introduce that shape here. Also the ear, notice how the ear is a inverted C shape. It's a inverted C shape here. But here it's like, I don't know, bro, it's like a slit or something. So nope, we don't want that. It's just poking out. What you want is you want that inverse C shape over here, straighten this face from the side as well, and then also have the proper shape of the ear. So the ear should go up, come down, and then curve back in. Curving back in is super important. A lot of people do not curve it back in. So definitely do avoid that. W in making a quality post. Put a good care into asking for feedback. And yeah, I agree, bro. Like when you help me help you, it's just easier to get feedback. When someone has the references and everything and they make it easier for the other person to share feedback on, there's a high chance you will get feedback. Not only from me, but from other community members as well. And this is what I would encourage as well. So people who are ahead, let's say you are at skull level 3 or you are at face level 1, you nailed the skull. Look out for people who are still at the skull. The reason you want to do that is, first, you are inside a community. And the second reason is selfish. The selfish reason is that when you share feedback, the feedback that you give, that information is on the forefront of your brain now. And when you're sculpting, it just helps you sculpt better. So whatever feedback you share with other people, you retain that information better. You memorize those lessons better. And in a selfish way, it just helps you improve as well. So teaching other people, pointing out their mistakes is one of the best way to learn. So if you're ahead of the people who are behind you, then just look out for them. Just leave a comment, share some feedback. You can definitely do it, bro. And I would highly encourage that. And yeah, importantly, this is a community. So what's the point of being in a community if you don't want to be active? Just I don't know, but just sit in your mother's basement and browse computer from there. If you're in a community, be active, bro. Like, why not? We're a community here. Just interact. Why not? Nick Schaff, Nick Schaffenberger, bro. I'm absolutely butchering this name. I'm sorry, but I don't know how this is pronounced. I'm actually curious how this is pronounced. So let's have a look. Pronunciation. Schaffenberger. Okay. So Nick Schaffenberger. It's a level 0 head. I love level 0 head. Level 0s are my favorite, bro. Love level 0s. Perfect. Another reason that I love level 0 is because the only way to go from here is up. The only way you can go from a level 0 is that you improve. And this just reminds me of a joke, bro. And the joke is why you should never touch Dwayne Johnson's ass. Why should you never touch it? Never touch Dwayne Johnson's butt. Never mess with it. Because if you do it, bro, you'll be hitting rock bottom. Okay, I think it's enough streaming for today. I should definitely stop this stream. Oh yeah, here it is. So this was your reference. This is the reference that Gemini created for us, which is so good, bro. You have the front, third quarter side. So definitely do use this. Who is calling me, bro? Let me just block this number. You know, the phone companies, they have access to your number and they just keep calling you and you have to spam them. Mark them as spam. Yep, block. Done. It's so weird that the network providers, if you block one of these numbers, they call you with another number. Why? I just hate it when that happens. All right. Yeah, where were we? Yeah, we were hitting rock bottom. Let's have a look at Dhruv. Day 7, skull level 3. I'm so happy with the results, but there are places I can improve, but I really like today's practice. And about the matcap, I use Rhino software to compare and post photos, and I do use the gray matcap on ZBrush, which is recommended. I have showed it in the last photo. Okay, reference mine. Bro, this is that's a bit too... It's too glossy. Why not just take a screenshot from ZBrush? Why do you have to load it up in Rhino to make these images? I'm just curious. Okay, what I can see is definitely so proportion wise this looks nice, but definitely I can see that. Okay, notice this, that the angle over here, how long this shape is versus how short this shape is. Notice this length over here versus how long this is. So you wanna have an eye for these things, and the simple trick for observation is to just how would you say, just have reference point on your references. Just use something as an anchor to compare other stuff. What do I mean by that? So over here I can see that, okay, the skull has this structure where it has this cylinder thing in the bottom. I can also see it in the reference, and then I notice, okay, this change of angle is happening about the same height or maybe below it. But in my sculpt, I can see that the change in angle is happening way up. So now I know that I need to bring this down, and this is where I start to change that angle. So this is the really simple way of making better observations. You just use points in your own reference as an anchor, as a pivot, and then you make comparisons from that point. That will help you sculpt much better, much closer results to the reference. Also, one more thing, I definitely do notice this here. So this part here, notice how round this is versus this one is line, 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 and that does not give us a closer result to the reference. I also notice that the widest point is happening here, whereas it should be somewhere here. Really important for faces and skulls. Really, really important. I cannot emphasize this enough. This part can be improved. Also the cheekbone, you can see that it's protruding out way too much. But over here, you can see it's around the same width as the eye area. So it's not protruding out on its own. Over here, I can see it's protruding out on its own. So that is something that we can adjust as well. Yep, good work here. Do let me know, bro. Like, why can't you just take a screenshot from ZBrush? Why do you have to set it up this way in Rhino? That matte cap is bright as our future. Yeah, bro. I think it's even brighter than our future. Nomad Ward. Finally done head level 1. Let's have a look. I think I'm finally ready to move on to level 2. Okay. Yeah, but once again, it's the wrong reference. I'm sorry to break it to you, but this is the reference that you should be using for level 1, 2, and 3. The other one is just a head that I included, so you can practice after the course. But definitely you want to practice with these. I'll be looking forward to your posts with the new reference. Okay? Great work. That's quality post, W for your dedication. Amateur hour, level 0 is fine. Marak Ritz, let's see, yeah, the same feedback as the other one. Prince Emmanuel, okay, I can see this. Yeah, the flat top, no, does not work. Flat top, too squished, definitely not. So you want to aim for this one, and I think these are some mistakes that are painfully obvious, extremely obvious. And then there's no point asking on feedback for these. Bro, yeah, it's really obvious. Let's see, Nomad Ward, Sculpt Order Day. Okay, yeah, so, bro, you have the correct reference here. Why are you practicing with the other one? You have the correct reference here. And with this one, you can see that the bottom is a bit round. Over here, we have these 3 distinct angles on the lower portion of the face. Jaw, chin. So you definitely want that. Over here, it's really straight. Also, I feel like the width of the face is a bit less. So that is something that we could expand a bit more to get a closer result to the reference as well. Just a sec, let me slow down the fan. Yeah, great work here. Quality boost. Let's see more. Dhruv, skull level 3. Oh wow, we have so many sculpts this week. Yeah, I've already shared feedback on this one. So let's see. Yeah, you see the angle on the jaw it's much better on this one. So you messed up on the recent one, but the older one is better. We could use a bit more of a flatter chin. So that is round. Definitely flatter chin here. Yeah, this one is not bad. Okay, this slants too much. Too much, bro. Yeah, the slant is too much. So definitely we need to bring the forehead a bit more forwards. Like this. So something like this. And it's very obvious in the third quarter. Also this bone here. So you definitely want to straighten that out. It's like a boomerang here. Nope. You want it to be straight. Yep. Good. Quality post. Marak reads day 1 practice. I like 2 the most. So 2 is definitely closest to the reference here. Which one was your favorite? Here's my personal top ranking. 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4. I like 2. Let's see here. Yeah, from the side 3. But yeah, you see these are all in a very similar ballpark. So they all are really good. So this is really nice. I think where you messed up was in level 2. So this is really nice. Let's see. 5 days. We have 2 more days. Prince Emmanuel, level 1. Okay, perfect. So you're doing the sketching exercise. Really nice. Head level 1. Wrong reference. Wrong reference. Yeah, I saw this one. This is really nice. So I just think that you messed up in the later levels of the face. So when you work on them, I believe you can get some really insane results. Really good results. Brian's skull, day 2, skull level 1. Let's have a look. So I remember that your level 2 were very inconsistent. Yeah, that's the same thing. The same thing is happening here. So you can see some of them have a good structure on the lower face. This one is absolutely flat. This one is a bit pointy. Also, the head over here, it's really blocky on top. This one I can see a curved surface here. So what I would recommend is just try to aim for a ballpark, and that ballpark is the reference. As long as you're in 80-90% accuracy range, you're good to go. Until then, you just need to work on consistency first. We need this to look consistent. Like the example that Frank has here. So these, not these two, they're the flat tops, but these, something like this, something that looks similar to what we just reviewed one post earlier. Definitely did attach the reference, bro. I would recommend that you also attach the sides so that we can have a look at the sides as well. Let me show you the example of the consistent models that I was talking about. Okay, I have to go back one page, no problem. It was the last post. Yes, this one. So definitely something like this. As long as you have something like this, you're good to go. This is good. This is really nice. And that is what we want to aim for. Okay, something that looks consistent, something that is in the ballpark, something that resembles the other ones. That is nice. When you hit this level of consistency, just move on to the next level. Perfect. And I think I've reviewed everyone before this. Yeah, so all of them before are reviewed. Perfect. That's it for this installation or this episode of Roasting Your Sculpts. If you want to get your posts roasted, there's a pinned comment in the chat here. Just join the community, practice along the course, and share your work here. But if you want more personal feedback and you want me to be watching over your shoulder as you're doing, then you might want to consider joining the Da Vinci School. Not only do we discuss making the heads here, but we also sculpt more advanced things like anatomy, female anatomy. We dive into stylization and all of that neat stuff. So you definitely want to be a part of this. And inside the Da Vinci School, this is where I'm more active. I'm active here every day, watching out what people are doing, commenting, sharing feedback. We have 2 calls every single week. We have 2 group calls. You can see here. So 2 group calls where all I do is just look at your sculpts, share feedback in any area that you are struggling in, whether that be with productivity or whatever. Sometimes we just have a really good chat. Like we just hang around with the rest of the members. It's really cool. So either community you want to join, there's going to be a link in the description. And yep, I would love to see you in either of them. If you join the Da Vinci School, I will love it a bit more because, of course, it's a paid program. Yeah. They're just kidding, bro. Just join and I'll see you around. There's not much to say. I'll just wait around to see if there's any questions and then I'll be moving forward. Full respect. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, bhai. Wa alaikum assalam. How are you? All right, seems like there's no more questions. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a nap or just meditate or do some non-sleep deep, I don't know what is it called, NSDR. Just to rest my brain a while. I've been on calls and in front of the screen almost for the entirety of the day. Yep, that was it. I'll see you around. Goodbye, take care, happy sculpting. Here's a fist bump, everyone. Take care. Boom.